Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dismantle a 2284. We're going to take the dash off. We're going to take the cradle for the fuel tank off. I'm going to show you just a general about 15 minutes of dismantling. A dash on a Cyclops is very, very difficult. The reason why is down in this area right there, they have two screws, and they have one by the push button here that come out very hard. What I'm going to do to get that dismantled is I'm going to take that dash off as a complete unit. Right there's the orbital motor for the power steering. But we're going to start in the back portion right here. It takes a 1/2 inch. It's a 5/16 bolt. We're going to take that cradle off right there. This one here has nuts on the bottom. Some of them have threads. This one does not. And we're going to take that off. And then we're going to work our way right up to the front and take the dash off. I'm going to just show you a general way how I do it. This machine here will never go back together, but I am going to save the frame because I sell a lot of these frames for garden tractor pullers. So we're going to start right off. We're going to dismantle this cradle first. They're kind of difficult. You're way in there. Take that right off. Actually, I save these for all my projects because this one here is nice and shiny. Start working on the dash. What we're going to do first is work on the tilt wheel area first. Then we're going to work our way to the hydraulics. There's a snap ring in behind here. Right here you have to take off. Now, I'm not going to take it off correctly. I'm just going to take a pair of side cutters, take it right off. Then I'm going to take off right in this area right here, the electric clutch. I'll put you in behind here. We're going to take this off right here. These are kind of countersunk and they're really difficult to come out. I use a 5/8 socket to do it. And I am going to try to use an impact on it. And it worked. Sometimes it does not. Sometimes you have to use a pair of needle nose pliers on it. You do not have to take the key switch off to remove the dash on a Cyclops, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show you why. Because the steering wheel takes a 15/16 to take it off on the nut, and so doesn't the key switch. Some are 3/4. This one here is 15/16. One thing I like about a Cyclops, they're not metric. I'll save that grounding washer right there. I sell a lot of key switches, and this one here is not very old. You can see it's in very good shape. Next, I'm going to take off the throttle knob. Takes a 1/2 inch, or excuse me, a 1/2 inch. It takes usually it takes a Phillips, but this one here is slotted. Somebody must have changed it. Now, one film I do have coming up is I'm going to add hydraulics on. I'm going to show you how to do it. Cut the dash out. My 1864 has dual remotes on it. I want to get the transmission in my 2182 next on film. I don't have an issue with the transmission really. It just doesn't go in reverse fast enough. I've changed the valves. My system is full of water, so I decided that's how I'm going to remedy the issue. I'm going to just take it out and replace it. Right there we go. Take off the knob here next. Sometimes this knob comes out really difficult. If we have time in the 15 minutes, I'm going to show you how to take one of these levers out. To change one of these control levers for the hydrostat, tough job. Now this one must have had electrical issue because they used a push button to start it. On the Cyclops with the wiring, that is not a bad idea. Right there is the push button, and right there it's out. I didn't expect it to fly like that. When you're dismantling these machines, you just never know what to expect. Some parts come off easy, some don't. Let's try the screws while we're here. Let's see if they just pop right out. This one is. Now we have another screw right down in here on the push button for the tilt. And if you've watched some of my other films, you see these screws here. They don't have a washer on them, just like the 82 series do. The Cyclops don't. They use the same screw, but on a 82 series, they have a washer in behind there. The easiest I've ever seen screws come out. Usually they fight you. Now I've already lubed them. I prefer WD-40. That's what I use. It's a good general lubricant. We'll see if we can get these bottom ones. I'll lube them up. Another thing we'll do is we'll take this control lever off also. That's fine thread right there. Let me get a 15/16 wrench. We'll see if we can knock them loose. And that one came loose. That is amazing right there. I do believe this machine was well taken care of. Always garage kept. It makes a lot of difference when they're garage kept. Now, one thing I have coming today for that 882, I have a different battery that's going to be coming up on a future film. I really don't want to change that starter out. Oops, almost hit me in the face. So I'm going to put a big battery in it to see if I can get that to crank just a little bit better. And to be honest with you, this is just like Hollywood. Unedited, that's really, them screws came out so easy you can't even imagine. That usually does not happen at all. While we're in here and in the cameras in that area right there, we're going to take off this control rod. This goes down to your cams here to activate your hydrostat. Now, how I do it is real easy. You take a 7/16, you take a ratchet wrench, and you take the nut off. This machine even has the lift indicator in it right there. I believe this machine came in with a great plastic cowling, the tunnel on it. I believe I already sold it. Them are hard to get on a Cyclops Super that aren't cracked. So now we're gonna move the camera to the front, and you can see the dash is nice and loose, but I'm gonna take off the control unit right here for the hydrostat, or excuse me, for the hydraulic lift. I'm gonna do that next. And then that dash will flop right off. Then we're going to, since everything's going fairly smooth so far, we're going to take out the control lever for the hydrostat. Take 7/16 to take these fittings off right here, or not the fittings, but the hose, the lines. A lot of people don't like this style fitting. I like JIC also, but actually the way they set these Cyclopses up, they really weren't much of a problem, in my opinion. Make it a little bit faster to interchange. And actually, putting dual remotes on these machines with these type of fittings, you stack these valves up. Right here, the extra valve goes in. Actually, I believe you could even put triples in if you had to, because there's room down here and there's room up here to put another valve in. You'll see in future videos. I'm not going to put triples in by no means, because you don't need triples, and I'm not sure if that has enough hydraulic pressure to run them. But actually, you don't even have to change these lines to do it. So it's a real, to be honest with you, the first one I did, I couldn't believe how easy it was. Now we're going to take off the back line right here. Now, in past videos I did, and I sold the machine the other day. I had a 105 that I used these type of fittings and this valve on it, and I put hydraulics on a 105. I changed the transmission out to a live transmission. Look back in some of my videos, and you can see that it really, on a narrow frame, it worked out extremely well. I'm going to do that project again. I don't particularly care working on the narrow frames as much. I think they're a little bit more difficult. Once you work on a spread frame, they're tough to go back. I don't really even care for the large frames. Like I had a 129 that came in here yesterday with live hydraulics on it. This one here is a little bit more difficult to get out. I sell a lot of these valves here, especially for the 3000 series. They use the same type of valve on a 3000. When you put dual remotes on it, you use some parts, often a valve that are stacked on a 3000 to make it work. And right there's your valve. Now I'll put all them keepers back on before I put it on the shelf. Now the dash should come right off. and it did. You see, you didn't have to take off the choke. This one here is not in real good shape. The indicator light panel right there is in pretty bad shape. Of course, it has the hole right there for the switch. But I saved these types of dashes for guys that pull tractors because they're not that particular. We're going to take this control off for the throttle. It takes a 3/8 to do that. Then we're going to take off this right here. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to just lift the whole dash out, and then we'll take out the control for the hydrostat. They're an awful job. If you have the steering shaft in there, putting this in is just it's a real brutal job. That one there only had one screw in it apparently. Alrighty, or one nut, I should say. Okay, now we're going to take this off right here. This hugs the orbital motor. This is the same one they use on the 82 series to hold the hydraulic valve that sits right here on the 82 series. It takes a 1/2 inch to do that. Actually, it's missing one bolt there too. It might be broken in the frame. That does happen. And right there's that. Now this cross member right here, I'll save that because when I'm doing a project, that one there is in very good shape. So it still has a paint on it. The paint is starting to chip off in these old Cadets like this. Takes a 1/2 inch to do this right here. We're going to take this out first. We're going to lube this up right here on the tilt wheel. And it comes right off. There it comes off. Now, we're gonna move the camera over just a little bit. And I'm gonna take this out right here. It takes 1 1/8 inch there, and then it'll take a 3/4 on the other side. You need big wrenches to do this job right here. Okay, so the one you're dropped off there. Now we're going to take this nut off right here. That is a lock nut, and you will need a 3/4. And this one here has a countersink in it right here. You stack them right up so you can put them right back on. These are tapered washers, so they have some spring in them. And it comes right out. So that's how you pull it. I'm going to end the video right here. I'm going to pull this transmission and the steering motor out of it, and we'll get that in that 2182. I hope you like the unedited. How to learn is just take them apart, and I enjoy it every day. So everyone, thank you for watching my channel. I appreciate you watching the unedited videos. I hope you like them a little bit better, and it gives you a good idea how long it'll take to dismantle these machines. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and we'll see you on the next video.